It's spinning. That is right. Book your cruises. We are only 6 months away, 6.5 months away.
Yeah, and there's like 120 people already booked on it.
The most famous 120 people in the world, all converging
It's
on
gonna
one
be pretty
boat.
awesome. So I'm not at the shop today. I left early to go home because it's Faye's birthday. So we're gonna go to dinner in a little bit. So I'm on my phone. So Brad's in charge of the show. So if it's messed up, it's all on him.
So JR just told me like 34 seconds ago that about all this. So if it's messed up, I blame I don't know, we'll just blame Bobby.
Yeah, I'll make it Bobby's fault. So before we go into the episode about the Mid Atlantic, oh, birthday girl wants to say hi. You gotta squeeze in. Say hi.
Hi.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
There's 27 million people worldwide watching, and they all say happy birthday. Where's your hat? You should have a birthday hat.
She has a little crown thing, but she took it off. But
It's a tiara.
so before we get talking about the Mid Atlantic, Christmas Expo was you missed out, Brad.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
We did go to Kid Vegas Thursday.
Oh, did you?
There's the princess. Yeah, those are tiaras, not crowns.
Yeah. Well, it's a happy birthday. So, Expo was killing it. I think it's on a comeback tour. There wasn't a lot of light show vendors there. There was only two of us selling stuff and then two sequencers. But for me, that was awesome because there was nobody shopping around in there. So everybody bought my Mega Tree, nobody else's. So that was awesome. We sold 12 Mega Trees at the show. I couldn't believe it. But Expo was awesome. The vibe was cool. Like there was a lot of people there, like good people too that spend money. And I'm hoping next year it comes back like better. And I'm hoping I have a location that I suggested, and hopefully we end up there because I think it'd be awesome.
You're
But I'm not telling everybody what my pick is because if it gets picked, I don't want people to be like, oh, they picked it because JR said so. No. So my pick is Quiet. So how was Kid Vegas?
So her mom just decided her mom's birthday was Thursday or Friday. So it was either Wednesday or Thursday we went down. And it was sort of like, hey, we're going to Canada tomorrow. My mom wanted to do that for my birthday or her birthday. So I said, cool. And then our friend Jess was in town from Florida, and she's the one that said, hey, are you going with us? And I said, I don't know. I wasn't really invited. But I guess Candace saying, hey, we're going to Canada, like was the open invite. So I ended up, taking a sick day, and we went out there. We took a few pictures at the falls, and then her mom's like, cool, I just want to drop 2 quarters in the, slot machine and then roll out for the most part. And I'm like, we did go to what we thought was an outlets in Buffalo. It is like kind of like a mall, and wasn't as cool as people would have thought. And I did buy stuff at Home Depot in Canada because I just took the stuff off the floor in Lawn and Garden. Then it rang up Canadian. I'm like, oh boy. But luckily, it fixed it with the credit card. Now, I was fully expecting we hit the duty free, grabbed a bottle of Crown for her dad. And I fully expected them to like check the truck. Like, what do you guys got in here? Oh, just some goblins and alcohol.
Halloween decorations. Do they have different stuff at Home Depot there?
So there was nothing that I think was Canadian exclusive. Usually they have trouble getting some of the things that we get.
Oh,
And they're a lot more expensive, but it is with the Canadian, pricing. So, but there is like, tariffs and stuff like that.
yeah.
So did I have to buy the stuff I bought there? No, I probably could have ordered it online, but it was just the excitement of going to Home Depot. And allegedly Canada's not on fire.
Oh, okay.
I talked to one worker. We had a bunch of issues with smoke like 2 weeks ago, and they said it's because Canada's burning to the ground. And I asked the one guy there, and he's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
So that part of Canada is not on fire. Okay, so we have some great guests that put on an event that I went to the Saturday before Expo. So do you think we should run the intro and bring them on?
I think we should 100%. I'm excited for this.
Well, it's a little odd too, because normally we talk to them ahead of time and tell them how this is going. But because I put the show in your hands, we did not get to do that, Brad.
Some of us were at work, buddy, and
so we're doing it live. And
if you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you need the professional triers. Time to light it up officially. J5 Clothing Company, better known as Johnny 5 Clothing, is now the exclusive licensee of all official X-Lights merch. Head up xlightsmerch.com to grab pixel perfect gear like a lighting nerd snapback, the Don't Cross the Data hoodie, and the Sequencer Squad graphic tee, all designed for the community. If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you need the professional triers.
This is a Matos Designs production.
And I am not done! Mark my word!
I like your line. I like your prices. There's a problem. There's no guarantee on the box.
You can't hang out with chickens and expect to soar with eagles.
Why are you smiling like that?
I just like to smile. Smiling's my favorite.
And now, here are your hosts, JR and Brad.
Oh, we can handle it. We're professionals.
okay, so apparently we have a new intro that no one told me about. So I thought it was the wrong intro. There's literally 3 videos. So there's 3 videos listed as intro, and JR's like, play the intro. So I played the intro, and it's not the intro I remember. So I played a different intro, and then JR's just. So look, whatever. We do this unscripted-ish. So without further ado, who are we bringing in?
I can't even talk right now.
So look, you get all the intros until one of them works and JR doesn't like text me bad things. So yeah, we got the Mid-Atlantic mini recap. And who do we got today, JR?
Well, you took me off stage for a second there.
I did not take you off stage. It took itself off stage.
So we have James and Steve who helped put on, or actually the main guys that put on the event. So let's welcome them on stage. You're going to have to push that button, Brad, and maybe not play a different intro.
So I am excited. Steve taught me a lot through his videos and different things over the years. Why does it keep bouncing around?
I don't know. What are you doing?
I am literally not touching anything, bro.
You have to be touching something.
James it's showing he's still on stage, but like, I don't know. Do one of these.
That's okay. The darkness is my best angle, so you know.
You got a face for radio.
Yep.
Hey, you just touched something, JR. You're messing stuff up.
I closed the message on my phone. I don't have the control on my
Every
phone.
time you touch your phone, something different happens. So, completely unscripted, obviously. So, guys, awesome. Tell us a little bit about yourself. For the people who don't know, tell us what mini you hosted and where it was held.
Want to go ahead, James?
Sure. Yeah. Steve and I co-host Mid Atlantic animated lighting groups, and we have gotten large enough where we actually have a full committee. So the two of us have multiple people that are behind us that help us run our yearly event. This was our 8th mini for the Mid Atlantic region. So we pull everybody from New Jersey and Pennsylvania, all the way through Maryland, West Virginia, Washington, D.C., Virginia, and a little bit of North Carolina. We have a membership of about 550 people, and we had about 50 people at our mini this year, which was one of our larger events. We held it here in Northern Virginia, so we were glad that JR was able to come and help, show off some of the Matos design stuff. And I think we had a really great time. So we always have lots of good ideas, lots of good swapping of ideas along with presentations.
Yeah,
Want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
So, Steve, for the people in the community who may not know who you are, I always call Steve Nye the power guy.
That's a good
I got a lot
name.
of nicknames using that style.
I think it fits you so well because a lot of his videos is why my house grew like it did, because he had such great videos and he actually demonstrated like, hey, this is this and then this. So, please tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm an electrical engineer. I'm also a musician. So this hobby kind of is a excellent way for me to combine all the things I like doing, designing, and then the artistic side. So I started years ago doing Mr. Christmas Lights and Sounds. I know a lot of people in the community have started that way. My son was little and we came home, and when we were coming home, the house was dark. I didn't grow up at a house that decorated anything on the outside. We just had the Christmas tree on the inside, and that was pretty much all we did for any holiday. Specifically, Christmas was just the inside. And so we came home, the house was dark, and my son's like, "Why is our house so sad?" And that then spawned onto me looking into things. My wife's like, "Keep it classy." So I got a couple of lights at the end of the season at Home Depot. It's, whatever they had at the end of the season. So we grabbed a few things, and I played around with Mr. Christmas Lights and Sound for 2 years. Then I found X Lights and FPP in 2017. Actually, in 2016. My first show was in 2017. So this would be my 10th year doing a pixel show. James and I connected in 2018, and then we decided to start that Facebook group. And then in 2019, we're like, why don't we throw a mini? So that's kind of how the mini came about. So we could bring people around from the Washington, D.C. area for the Mid-Atlantic.
Nice.
Yeah.
So,
I walked in there. I walked in right when it was started, and I was like, wow, I did not expect that many people there. There had to be more than 50. Definitely had to be more than 50 people there, because that room was full and there was people everywhere, and it was cool. It was very cool.
Yeah, that's kind of a perfect space. I also do a light show there as well. That's the church I go to, and the pastor, the year after my show, was watching my show and said, "Hey, could we do this at the church?" I'm like, "It's gonna be a lot of work, and we got to start real early." So in January, we started recruiting people, and we had a plan by March and started buying stuff. So at that church was also a show that show started the year after my show. So it was also in 2018 is when the church show started. But yeah, because they host the show, they've been very fortunate to let us use the space for our mini every year. We've had it 7 years there. It's in Northern Virginia. And then 1 year in 2024, 2 years ago, we had it in Maryland. The Maryland folks that drive down always wanted in Maryland, but James and I were saying, if you've got a place, let us know, and we'll gladly do it up in Maryland or other places around the Mid-Atlantic area. And so, if there's a place, we're always open to it. But we know we always have a home in Northern Virginia at the Vine Church.
Yeah, and that place worked pretty good because it wasn't far from the airport, and there's tons of hotels by it and everything. So for me flying in, it was one of the easiest ones because it was like a 5-minute Uber ride from the hotel. So that was pretty cool. It was definitely cool.
Yeah, there's 2 airports real close, and then if you wanted to go farther to BWI in Baltimore, it wasn't that much farther.
Yeah.
So how much
So
planning
go
goes
for it.
into one of these events? Like for people that don't know, because we do got about 27 million people watching, so at least a few of them don't know how much actual like work goes into planning one of these events.
There's a core number of people in our group, and we have like a Facebook Messenger thing. So it's myself, James. I'm gonna give shout outs to everybody, James, if you're cool with that. Uh, Joe Simmons, Curtis Holland, in no specific order. I'm just kind of rambling names. Curtis just joined the planning committee this year. He attended the event last year for the first time. We also have Mike Horn, who also won the trophy last year, and so he's
Yeah,
on the planning committee.
He
Yeah.
didn't bring
Mike
it.
was on my season. Mike was another Pixel show that won, because not too many Pixel shows actually win.
I gave him
True,
a hard
true.
time because it was his first mini since he won, and he didn't bring his trophy.
We were all disappointed.
I should have brought my Coro trophy because, Mike sent me a picture of a Coro trophy, and I'm like, okay, I must have. And
Yeah,
he told me what vendor it was, and you have to be able to win the show to get it. So not everybody can have one of those unless they have it made themselves. And yeah, so but I got 2 of them because I have a bigger yard,
Did you have to buy it?
of course.
So you have to win the show, and then you got to spend your 50K on it.
Well, when you have a winnings, which isn't really a lot after taxes, and it's negative after you factor in your time and money into the show, they're not going to give you free stuff because they're going to be like, well, you can afford it.
Yeah, we did make fun of Mike for not bringing it, given how close we were. He did not have to get on a plane. He did not have to buy another seat for his trophy. He
but
did not have to buy a special
Or build
case.
a carrying case. I hear there's a carrying case for your trophy.
It's right off the Amazon. But I did bring mine, and Rob from PPD broke it. So that's
that was
probably
that was
why.
fake. That was fake news. It was an AI image, but I made Brad and Brian Michael almost cry looking at my phone, even though the trophy was 10 feet away from me, still intact. But looking at my phone, they all panicked.
Oh,
I thought it was a great video. I thought it was hilarious.
Rob kept saying, "Hey, look at your phone," because we were doing like prize giveaways. Look at your phone. So I already knew because Rob loves his AI. But man, when I showed it I walked up to Clyde and just held up the phone, like, "Look what your partner did," and like I was serious as all could be because I like to, play along. And Clyde looked like he was about to cry. He's like, "Oh my god, what happened?" I'm like, "Dude, this like you tell me, that's your partner. Your partner just did this."
Yeah. But to be fair, Mike did have a gig right after the mini
He did.
around the corner, so he probably didn't have room for the trophy. And I went because I didn't fly out to the morning. I went to go watch him perform in his
At Jam and Java in Vienna, I believe.
yeah, that's what it was. And then he has a Nirvana band he was in. He was in the 2 bands that were playing that night. He was in both of them. And one of them did like Nirvana covers, and I don't remember the other one now. That was like 2 weeks ago. So, but yeah, so I got to hang out with him after. So he did have a good excuse not bringing the trophy.
He is a phenomenal musician. He's
Yeah.
come to my house to pick up spare parts when they weren't working on his show right before the competition. So I had some idea that he was going to be on the show. But he could have left the trophy with me. Like I would have kept it safe, and then he could come
Yeah.
back and get it later.
You never know. You might pull it out at a bar late at night after bar Jenga.
Yeah. So Mike Horn. We also have Senna Hubler, and then Mike O'Berry, who runs Holiday Coro. He makes his own core as well. So it's nice to have a local
Holiday Decoro. Holiday Decoro.
Yeah, let's not.
Decoro.
Decor, yeah. And then we have 3 other members who had to step back this summer because they had conflicts. But that would be these 3 were very active in prior minis: Shane McClung, Greg McFadyen, and David Wood. So it's a good number of people that I named off. I think like 9 people or so to put together this mini every year.
It does take a lot. And if you guys are running a mini or thinking about running a mini, delegate, get help. Don't be afraid to ask for help, because there's so much that, I mean, once you plan it, it's not that bad, but the actual, like, taking the, the whole day all the way through is pretty crazy. So since you guys had a nice crew, but what's the hardest part about putting on an event like that? What do you guys think?
I think it's just figuring out kind of who's best at what, and that's kind of where our committee really shines. Is everybody's kind of figured out where they work together best. So Steve does a great job with us doing all of our sponsorships stuff. We have multiple people who work together to plan out presentation ideas for find and recruit people who can actually talk hopefully knowledgeably about stuff that's going on within the industry and things that people are interested in. So I think that's a huge part of the committee and kind of getting that plan set. So like you said, delegating is huge. I think Steve and I did it, just the two of us, for probably 6 or 5, 6, 7 of those years, I think, before we started having some volunteers that kind of stepped up. Our big thing used to be, we always did potluck lunches during the day. So one of our big things is our mini is free to attend. So there's no price other than just getting yourself to our mini. So I think that kind of builds our camaraderie within the group, to because it's like, okay, who brought those meatballs? They were really good. It's those kind of conversations as well. So Steve's actually really stepped up a lot in the last year or two, has gotten our lunches provided as well. So we just kind of do that like a potluck breakfast stuff. And we have sponsors that help out with lunches now too. So everybody kind of finds a niche, and we just let them run. It's free to create, free to design. However, people on the committee or people within the group, we have 550 people that we ping, and whichever direction they want to take our minis, that's the direction we're happy to send it.
I would like to know a little bit more about those meatballs. Who made them?
Yeah, I don't know, man. They appeared like 3-4 years ago, I think, and I don't even think they made it to lunch. Like, you could, our venue just smelled really good, and people were, munching on them all day long, which is kind of what we encourage, because we don't want to we don't want to take any of the food home with us. But yeah, it was like everybody was hungry the entire day.
All right, so we got 27 million people. Somebody has to know who brought the meatballs 3 years ago to the Mid-Atlantic Mini. If you know, make sure you put it in the comments.
Better yet, if you know who makes the smoked pork shoulder, if you know that, put that in the comments, because I gotta say, the potluck lunches are, the quality and the amount and the type, for me is better than the catered lunch, because we get so much good food. I mean, people are really good, amazing cooks in this group.
That sounds really good.
So apparently we're going next year. You had us at meatballs. So we need we have about 8 months, 10 months to find out about these meatballs, because I think 1,000 people are going to show up for meatballs next year. So we got to start cooking.
Guess we got to make sure that there at least are meatballs next year.
Yeah. You got to find the meatball person and be like, you have to come next year.
So
otherwise, no mini.
Here's what happened. We talked about meatballs, and now we've had all these people sign up, and we have no meatballs. So
yeah.
Sherry says happiest of birthdays to Faye. So that's pretty awesome. So
well, I think one of the really cool things is we have a lot of repeat people. I mean, it's one of the things I think that makes one of our many so unique, is that it is such a close knit group that we have people that have been with us pretty much every single year, and they have yet to miss one of our minis. So I think that's one of the things that makes us really unique, is that it's it's truly a year. And one of our feedback things this year was actually like, let's do something. Let's do another one. I'm like, great, you can do that one, and we'll do the early one, and you can do the later season one or something. Because
Yeah. So ultimately, was attendance roughly about where you guys expected, or were you a little surprised at the turnout?
We usually run anywhere between 35 to 40 people each year, and there's a core number of people, that, as James has said, and there are other people that have, like, they come, they're not able to make it, or there's a conflict of schedule, but usually around 40. So for us to hit over 50 people this time was definitely something really special. We did fill up that room, as JR saw. Usually we have one less table, at least, as far as number of seats. But yeah, I mean, the place can have more people, so if we have 10 more people coming just for meatballs, we will have a seat for you all.
Yeah. No, it was it was really cool when I walked in to see it so full. I was like, dang. And the way you guys ran it, you could tell you've been doing it for a while. It is one of the most organized minis I've been to. It was very organized. It was pretty awesome how like it all flowed. Like you went through had the classes go through you, and it was cool to see like you, James, and Steve kind of like give each other shit through the whole thing too. Like when James was presenting and he was like, "Well, we didn't have the expert do it," and Steve was at the table. It was pretty funny. Like it made it made it very entertaining too. So that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, we do. The one thing that I really stress about each year when the planning committee gets together is not necessarily the food or the venue or all these logistics, and even the raffle prizes. It's really like, what's the content that we want to present at the mini? Like, our group isn't big enough for us to have like 5 different sessions all going at the same time. And we also didn't want to make it a multi-day thing, because people do drive. If they're driving from a farther away distance, we don't want to require anyone to get a hotel room, because it's free and we want it to be super accessible. So we do spend a lot of time, like, with our planning team, like, what is it that people care about, and then we solicit the group. We prided ourselves for a very long time of all the presenters being local. Like, ever since 2019 when we ran it, we pretty much had local presenters for all of our sessions. And then 2 years ago was the first time we had a virtual, and then we had a couple virtuals last year. And we had Clyde Lindsay virtual this year, because he did a great job with covering some X-Lights topics. So we had him virtual. But most everybody are people in the community who is willing and stepped up to do a topic, something that they've been working on, something they want to share. And we really like that about the community. And this year we had James twice, because there were 2 topics that came up, and he just happened to be, the kind of the best to cover it. So yeah, so kudos to James this year for picking up 2. We always also, when we work these agendas out, we don't want a session to be like super long. Like, we don't have a 1 hour long session, because we used to, when we first started doing it, we had like a 1 hour on like, what is a pixel show. And that was great for the first year, but then the second year, when all those people came back, we're like, we don't want to do that again, so let's do something different. So each year it's like, what are we going to do different that the people who've been to the last 8 or 9 minis are going to have seen? And so it's really nice that we get different topics. We've had all kinds of stuff, from like robotics stuff. We've had submodel X lights. We had projection mapping. We have one guy who's local in this Vienna area. He does a fantastic projection mapping setup, and he did a whole thing on how he does that. We had a guy a couple years ago who had he was like a 3D printer fanatic, and so he did a whole thing on 3D printing, and he brought a whole bunch of stuff to give away. We had a session last year on pulse mesh and what's that other remote Falcon, which was fantastic, because I didn't use remote Falcon until last year, and I jumped into it after I found out how straightforward it was when we walked through a session at one of our minis. We had layering. We had, what else am I missing there?
Well, you guys
James?
built a snow machine this year.
Homemade custom snow machine.
I thought that was pretty cool.
And it ran in the church, so we had snow. Like, if you go to our Facebook page, Mid Atlantic Animated Lighting Group, there is a video of the snow machine running. So that was a really cool one.
We told the people at that first table after the demo got set up that they were going to get wet. So half the table got up and moved out of the way, but it was a lot of snow coming out of that machine. It was really impressive.
Yeah, I was very impressed on how much snow that homemade snow machine made. I was like, dang.
Probably not the best thing to say inside a church, but hey, I mean, it's all context.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
we
thing
cleaned
too,
up.
like, so you said James did 2 classes. Well, one of the classes he did was like all the new stuff in X Lights, which personally I think is one of the hardest classes right now because it changes so much. And I think he did a great job at it. Like he nailed a lot of the new stuff that people are going to have problems with. So that was very impressive.
I think next year we need to have Claude come to all the events, virtually, obviously, and explain all the changes.
Quad?
Yeah.
You mean the thing that's been writing X Lights lately?
Who do you think came up with my presentation? No. That was, thank you. I appreciate the shout out. It was a fun presentation because it was, it's a lot of people were, with the problems that X Lights was having earlier on in this year, through the first several iterations of 2026 for X Lights, there were a lot of people that were hesitant and still, worried about the bugs that were not necessarily the bugs, the features that were interesting prior to that. So I learned a lot just designing that presentation, but it was probably our number one requested topic when we put out our poll of what people want to hear about. So we kind of got it started right off the bat and hopefully gave out some good information that kind of got everybody kind of caught up and over the speed bump of 04 to 06 or 2026 04 to 2020 06. And I've gotten a couple of messages about people are like, okay, it's not so bad. And I'm like, yeah, we're solid at that point.
Yeah, a lot of people freak out earlier in the year. The reason that they released these big changes earlier in the year is if there is bugs that need worked out, you don't want that happening during show season. I know Gil Jones, before he jumped ship, like he had his moving head effect ready to go in the fall, Halloween, and people wanted it released. And it's like, that's not the time you do some kind of major change, right before show season. So I personally don't freak out knowing that it's going to get fixed. The earlier the mistakes happen, it does it. And, so it's nice that it seems that stuff is for the most part calming down a little bit. But remember, if you're ever worried about freaking out, if your show's working and running and you're worried about upgrading, you just don't get the cool things.
To be fair, I don't think Gil jumped ship. I believe, from what I understand, is when he went to LOR, he was allowed to continue to work on some stuff in X Lights, and then he was booted. So I don't know how true that is, but that's what I heard. So
yeah. Where's the sound effects? Dun dun dun! Inside information that you only get on the Professional Triers podcast every Monday.
And so I want to be giving Gil a bad time about.
Oh no! I'm a big fan of Gil. Gil has done so much for this community and so much help, and he just feels it's a good fit for himself and possibly into retirement. It's definitely gonna make LOR, like, not that it was not like name brand or anything like that, or it's gonna help them out a lot. And I'm sure at some point there's gonna be some kind of mergings or something, because it's animated lighting against the world.
That would be a very professional try and get LOR and X Lights to start crossing streams. But I also want to echo that the X Light dev teams does amazing work, and just looking at the change logs every time a new release comes out, hit that donate button, support the X Lights team, because that's a huge thing, and they're providing that at no cost, really, at no cost. And so don't donate for them and show them, give them a little cheese for their hard work.
especially
So-
vendors, because some of y'all, I'm not talking about JR, y'all cheap as hell, and I have no problem calling you out. Like, you make a living off this, but yet crickets, crickets, crickets. You know,
Yeah. To be fair, sequence vendors, I think, definitely need to be donating regularly because they are using the software to make their money 100%. But speaking of the crossing streams, I guess, between the two, I am going to run my Halloween show all on LOR.
what?
Breaking news.
Christmas is
Is
still going to be
is it like
excellent.
one thing out in your yard that you're using, or what?
No. With all the upgrades in it and stuff, I want to try it. There's a lot of cool stuff. So I'm on the list to get one of those new players and all the stuff to run Halloween. So we'll see how it goes.
So it's
JR
a mix
uses
of
everything he sells, so who knows? Is JR going to be selling LOR equipment, controllers, and stuff like that?
I already
Only time
sell
will
stuff
tell.
that works with LOR, Brad.
Minor details. We're talking about more stuff.
dragon lore.
Yeah. That's kind of a cool name.
So you obviously, you guys did a lot of different things. Were there a lot of questions or some of the same questions that you kept getting asked, throughout the day, or, stuff that comes up?
Usually what ends up happening is if people have a question about a session, they go right to that presenter at some point when we get a break. A lot of times people have questions and they just turn to the other folks at the table, or they just were chatting on Facebook and they saw something and they wanted to connect with that person. And very quickly the group just starts talking to each other. So the one thing that we always have a balance to try to figure out is how much time do we leave for social interaction time, and then how much time do we give towards like presentation, which is why we try to keep our presentations down to like 20 minutes with a 10-minute transition, and not put too much time into presentations, because we know, like in the beginning, everyone wants to talk to each other. At lunch, we can't get them to stop because we want to start afternoon sessions. And then when we're done the afternoon sessions, they'll just talk. The good thing is that those that are still around are willing to help break down and clean up. So, but it's really like, yeah, a lot of those questions end up becoming small groups very quickly. There are some questions in the big group, but they also know we want to keep track of time so we can keep things moving.
Yeah, I do a lot of our emceeing, so it's a fine balance of trying to keep the whole day moving, but at the same time, like we are there for that to happen, and I think that's one of the things that you have to really focus on, not getting frustrated on, or myself as an MC, is fostering those types of conversations that are going rampant, and then it's like, okay, trying to get everybody back into the tables, or, back into a point where a presenter can talk and not be too distracted with all the side conversations. That's one of the things that we changed a couple of years ago, was with our introductions. We actually go around the entire room and have everybody introduce themselves, say who they are, where their show is, what they're hoping to learn. And then if they have a question, if they're coming and saying, I would love to know about, we had a gentleman this year that was, had a question about spiral trees, and we had Dave Wood did an amazing set of videos a couple of years ago about setting up a spiral tree, setting up pixels around a tree that wasn't uniform, and he did like 3 or 4 different instructional videos about that. And I'm like, that's a great question. Go talk to Dave Wood over there. And so they were able to connect even though they weren't at that same table. So opening that conversation is also super important. And having a group that's not where if you have a question or you have a problem, it's not taboo. It doesn't. It's like, hey, bring them up. We'll tell you 8 different ways of fixing that problem, which is the problem in general with the lighting community is, there's always 8 different ways to fix the same problem.
Not immediately power inject.
Yeah.
Power inject, 24 volts, whatever you want.
Power balance, power inject all the way for me. Maximize those outputs.
Yeah, but not as first fix for anything. Always. My, it's smoking. What should I do? Oh, power inject. 100%.
Needs more
Add more
power.
power.
Always.
Did you
No
guys
buzz,
actually
no
get to
power.
enjoy them? Did you actually get to sit down and enjoy it? Like, or is it just organizer mode, like nonstop?
There were a couple of times like when I walked away from the front and sat in the back. So maybe like 3 or 4 times through the day where I'm not involved in a session, I got to kind of go back and watch from the back. But it's a lot of the time is in the like coordination host mode for sure. Like
Yeah.
making sure the next thing is ready, that we're queued up, and that like I the next presenter is moving his way, that I've got the raffle things ready to go, making sure everyone has what they need. It is pretty hectic for James, myself, and Joe did a lot also this year with all the logistics stuff. So on the day of the event itself, the three of us were pretty busy.
Yeah, you guys were pretty much at the front tables almost the whole time. And I liked how you guys did the raffle prizes, like in between each thing. That was really cool and it went really well and fast. So that was cool. The other cool thing with your group, you guys all had round tables, which I think more minis need to do because like having people look at each other and talk was way better than when they have them set up in classroom style. Because like that table, you could see them after something actually talking about what was going on and stuff. Where at other minis, when they have like the classroom tables, they're more of like worried of getting in trouble talking in class, you know. So it was a good mix. I liked it.
If you
Yeah,
want
the
to talk,
forum being a church, the forum being a church, the normal church setup is like a bunch of chairs. It's not pews per se, but it's just like a bunch of chairs looking forward. And fortunately, they let us kind of do what we want to do with the room. And so we just get all the chairs out of there and do the tables. We also like the tables because people bring things and they want to show it. So they can just put it right on the table, or they have laptops and they want to bring things up. So we found the tables to definitely be the way to go. It reduces the number of people who can be in the room because you just can't get that many chairs around the tables. But it for sure is much more conducive for conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, there is a lot of chairs in that church, and they very particularly go back in a certain way. I helped you guys put them all back, and that was I was like, oh, there's tape on the ground. I think this is where one of them goes. But that was kind of fun actually. After trying to figure out the puzzle.
They do
how
keep
we
changing the layout of that room, so like I didn't even know exactly where all the tape pieces were to mark where the chairs go.
take pictures before and after, just like your shows. Like take pictures of where you have everything before you do it. I personally do like behind the scenes videos, like because I'm talking to future Brad, and I like watch my videos and like pause it and know exactly like where I have it. I have little spray paint markers and little stakes in the ground. Um, yeah,
What does your yard look like now? Is it like dots
it
of color everywhere?
no. Well, I'm not doing a show this year, or at least not doing anything like crazy normal for me. So it's going to be more fun next year because I won't know. It's going to be a guessing game.
We were chatting with Mike Horn because one of his session was on lessons learned from being in the Light Fight show, and yeah, he let us know how crazy it was afterwards, and they're still not sure what they're going to do this year. They're still kind of noodling out how they're going to run a show, what kind of show that's going to be. And the funny thing is, he's like, "Oh, there's a dark side on my house. I think I'm going to put 8,000 pixels on the side of my house there because it's a little dark." And I'm like, my entire show is 8,000 pixels. You're just doing that
Yeah.
to light up the dark side of your house.
Well, or piss off that neighbor over there. That's what I like to do. Like my one neighbor, I couldn't remember if he said it was too bright or not bright enough. So I added 40,000 lights because it's better to be safe than sorry. Turns out it was too bright. Um,
Can you tell them they're running at 30% and be like, do you want them at 50 or 70%?
I run my show at 10%.
Even better. See?
So yeah, I said I can always turn it up if you need it. Just let me know. They put a front door up that has like one of these where light hits it. It's a prism and breaks. So that was their new front door. So every light I have turns into like 1,000 lights in their living room, and it looks like a disco ball. He sent me a picture one night. He's like, "Bro," and I'm like, "Dude, that looks awesome." He doesn't think so, and it drives his dogs nuts because there's blinking lights flashing all over the walls. So that's fun.
Yeah. You should go tint it for Christmas in the front of it.
I've offered blackout. Oh, we don't need them. Okay, then. So, hey, what was your favorite moment of the weekend, guys?
I think for me,
Gosh,
go ahead, go James.
No, go.
All right. For me, the few times that I was able to sit back and like take in the whole event, so to speak, it was just great to see everyone just so engaged with the presenter, asking questions, just the fact that we have this community that gets together. We typically end up doing this mini in July. It just happens to be the best time of year for everybody. It also happens to be right at the point when everyone is kind of done taking their vacation from thinking about pixels. I think about the show all year. I don't think too much about it, but once it hits July, I really start thinking about it. And people have said when they come to our mini, it's like it's time to get started. So we'll probably continue to have them in the middle of the summer. But yeah, I think just stepping back and just seeing all the people there, the people who've been there for many years, and then the new people. We had a few people that were like brand new, looking to do a pixel show. So just being able to cater to all those people's needs is just kind of fantastic. Some people came just for the raffles, and I love getting the raffles and giving them out. So, JR's got some of the best because it's just a bag and we don't know what the heck is in it. Most everything else I know what I'm giving away, but JR stuff, it's like I have no idea what's in this bag. Good luck. But
Yeah, we try to make it good, but we had to do the bag thing after an event that is no longer done by the same people. So I'm not going to bring it up because the same people don't do it anymore. But, when you tell somebody that's going to it, hey, I sent this controller, and then that controller never gets given away, you had to come up with a way to make sure all our stuff got given away every time. And, people didn't keep stuff. So we did the bags. So that's why we do that. But you guys did an awesome job on the event overall. Like, it went really smooth. It was awesome experience. It was worth the trip going out there. And some of the people there, like some of the cool projects they're working on. Like I was talking to a guy that made his own app to run his wife's drum line where he put pixels in their drums. And he was showing me these videos and the apps, and I'm all like, this is freaking awesome. So and then he sent me some more stuff when I left, like videos of all the stuff, and I was like, this is awesome. I was like, stuff I never thought to use pixels for, and this is cool. And he made his own app to do it, and it was pretty awesome. So I had a lot of fun like talking to people there and learning about them and stuff. So you guys did a really good job on the event. It was awesome.
And James,
speaking of funniest, what was the funniest moment?
Well,
that's what people really want to know.
I'm definitely going to take that one. I think because it kind of ties into to my best part of the day is that the camaraderie that we have amongst the group, amongst everybody that comes, and Steve and I get along really well, and Steve and I give each other crap the entire day. So that was one of the things that JR's picked up earlier, that I think that kind of helps keeps us grounded. It's like, oh, this is my mini. It's like, no, it's not my mini. I just sit there and present on things that people want to see. And so I think the funniest part is they're no longer in the presentation, so you literally had to be at the mini to see it. But I was picking on Steve actually a lot, but I picked on Steve on a couple of my presentations, and people were laughing and enjoying that, and that sense of hey, we're just the ones that are standing up front talking, but I have questions. I was out there talking with people about different ideas that I had. People were coming up to me and saying, how do you do this? How do you do that? Or who knows something about this or that. So that's where I think our mini really excels is, we have a lot of those interesting people that it's like, oh, that's a really cool project. And we're like, hey, come talk about it. Who knows who else wants to do it.
Yeah, on James's presentation, he had put some random pictures of me in it, and I was actually not paying that close attention when that one chart changed. And I was just like, I totally missed it. And there's a picture of like me behind me, and I wasn't looking, and I had to go back and look at that. But yeah, Yeah, it's not in the charts that were shared in our Facebook page, but
Yeah.
those are all
Those were
removed.
not approved. Not approved.
He asked to have them removed, so they were removed. Plus, it's like one of those things is like as it was part of my presentation, it just kind of spilled right into it. So
Yeah, it wasn't as
it
funny
worked
as
in the
you thought
moment.
later. Yeah.
Yeah, without the voice track, they would have no idea what's going on. So yeah.
Or Steve literally sitting in front of Steve.
Yeah. That was pretty funny.
Well, we did want to say thank you to JR and Mattis Designs. There's a ton. We had a ton of different sponsors. Steve can talk more about how many sponsors that. But I think that's an amazing thing that we have within our community is a lot of these big companies that have big names and big recognition within the community are supporting our little many. We've had a couple of sponsors now that have actually been in person that have come to enjoy our mini, and the sponsors are out there doing amazing work, so giving all that stuff when a lot of we wouldn't have stuff to give away if all those sponsors didn't do stuff. So thank you to you, thank you to all of our sponsors. It's a hard work. We basically let Steve off of all of his other duties just because he worked so hard at getting us sponsors every year. So definitely thank you to you and thank you to all of our other sponsors.
Yeah, it is a fun time, and the sponsors are so generous. I mean, it's amazing how generous they are, and we had really good attendance, but we have such an amazing sponsor group. So we had 30 sponsors this year, which is the most sponsors we've ever had. We've had some new ones, we've had other ones go away, and then we have a whole bunch that have just been sponsors every year, even since the beginning. So we're just so blessed that they're willing to do that. Not just raffle prizes, but like discount codes for the week for the people who attend. And so we do value all of that support because I do think it helps bring people out, especially people who don't necessarily can travel out over to like another expo or a mini in a different state, but they can drive over to ours and participate. So it's fantastic.
Yeah, you can name some of the sponsors too. I don't mind like going through. They need credit for giving to the events and stuff like that. So,
well, what I can do is so Curtis Holland, he really wanted our Facebook page is private because we wanted to make sure that we wanted it to be private. It was a deliberate choice between James and myself to have a private Facebook group, so that way people could say what they wanted without being like lambasted by the public. And so because of that, it's harder for people to see when our mini is and what that is and what we're about. So Curtis took it on himself to create a public website landing page for us. It's malg.org, MAALG.org. And in there, it's kind of like a landing page, people to learn about us, and then kind of point to the Facebook page. But what he also wanted to do was have a place where if any of the MALG members want to post their show and have it public for people outside, like we share a list of all the shows with people within our community, so that way we can drive around and see each other's houses. But if you want, then you can go to that site and then add it in as a public location, so that way people can find these pixel shows or other animated lights or animatronics or whatever it is that they're doing, custom snow machines, all that kind of stuff. So I did want to make a plug for Curtis for putting that page together.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah, go check out their
as far as
website.
sponsors, just a big shout out to Wally's Lights because he did our dinner or our lunch this year. So that was a big that's usually a big chunk of change. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, and all that about the website was that the sponsors are all also listed on that. Their logos are scrolling around on that webpage.
We need to up the donations though, because we need meatballs for thousands.
If you're coming next year, I will have them there.
You had us at meatballs.
Okay.
That's great. I'll even put a little birthday candle in it. It'll be a couple weeks early, but it'll be your birthday meatball.
Big birthday meatball.
There you go.
I'm touched.
Do we have a Brad in attendance for next year?
My daughter's in Arlington, so I don't know how necessarily far that is. I know
Very close.
Very well. Shit. There it is.
Maybe 15, 20 minutes tops.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. I trust you. So did you guys learn anything? Is there anything you guys thinking about switching up for next year? Or after 7 years, 8 years, you guys kind of, got it down?
We would love to
It's
go back to Maryland.
I hear a
It's
lot of
usually the switch
people
up.
want it in Maryland.
There are a lot of people that come down from Maryland. I think at least half the group came down from Maryland.
If you're coming from Maryland and you want it in Maryland, find a spot. Talk to James, talk to Steve. They are willing to travel to the highest bidding state. They are like the new World Cup. They're willing the highest bidder to, or something like that.
Yeah.
Whoever
Yeah,
has
a Maryland location would be super fabulous. We do the whole Mid Atlantic region. Now that Earl ERLE is up in New Jersey, so that a lot of people are familiar with them. If you're in the Zoom room for X-Lite Zoom room, a lot of those guys are running the Earl group as well. So they do a lot of the New Jersey stuff. But yeah, we'd love to find a place up in Maryland. But we're always learning which direction the group wants to go. Like Steve and I kind of started off with, this was kind of our starting project, but I don't have, I don't put my weight on the scale, and I try to keep other people's fingers off the scale to say, if the group wants to, do all lore stuff next year, I'll learn about lore, and we'll have a lore entire base thing next year. It's going to be a hard sell, but I'm happy to, I'm sure all of us are happy to go where the group wants to go. So
That'll be the first question we ask. How many of you have switched to lore?
Hey, I don't know how hard of a sale it will be next year. We'll see. We'll have to see. But
we'll see how Halloween goes.
Yeah, we'll see how Halloween goes. Hey, Brad, do you see James's shirt? I don't know. You're too new to know this. But that used to be the place.
Pop in the brew tank all the time.
That used to be the place to hang out, and that was like one of the first logos I ever drew was for that group.
It was a great group. There were so many ideas that were. It was rapid fire ideas in that group. It was lots of fun.
No, I know all about the think tank, and I know about the Friday night brew tanks.
Yeah, they were different back then when that shirt was made. When we sold shirts.
Back then, they old.
I am kind of old. Okay.
Says the birthday girl.
I know.
You're older now too. You weren't as young as you were yesterday.
I'm 11. I'm not as old as him.
Yeah. Well,
happy birthday.
That's how it works.
Nah.
So, but yeah, thanks you guys again for having me there. It was a great event. You guys did a great job. You got any more questions, Brad?
So, let's see.
He's thinking about it. James.
No. I got it.
Hold on. Steve is known for making his videos, but James looks like has a workshop set behind him.
Yeah, I'm a little
Doesn't
mad.
that look perfect?
I could have got like 20 of those bubble things, and I was like, I'm just gonna wait for wait for them to go on clearance, and then they're on clearance, and she's like, no, I don't want them, and then they sell out. She's like, did you get any of those? And it's like,
I will tell you that it looks clean, but that's just because nothing down here works. So
it's just for looks.
I was thinking some pixel stakes and maybe a flood and a little pixel puck light in the end. I'll probably pick some up. Walmart has a crap. Brian, I sent a picture to Brian. Walmart has so many blow molds coming out this year. They're like, oh, it's a blow mold, we'll sell it. Yeah, pretty crazy. If he is watching, and we know he is, one thing he don't have. Brian, I got a blow molds National Lampoons, and it's huge. Lowe's.
That's not huge. That's a new modern small blow mold.
Mini mold.
Yeah.
Was not cheap. All right, so when people are looking back at this year's Mid Atlantic Mini, what do you guys feel they hope that they remember?
I think it's camaraderie, really. As much as I would love people to walk out of there being like, we had some great presentations, we learned some stuff, we had that type of thing. I am really happy when I hear the room just completely ruckus of conversations and people making that connection. So, I'm happy to throw in some learning opportunities occasionally, but I think that camaraderie is really kind of what kind of sets us apart. That whole, we bring all of our own food, and it's a communal effort, and it takes a community to put it on. Steve?
Yeah, people have clearly already been helping each other just virtually, and so it was a chance for them to get together and actually talk in person. Um, I know I've helped a number of people in that Facebook group, and then they come in person and want to chat with me, or they say something about my videos, or ask me about something else, like things I have no knowledge on, and I'm like, you need to go talk to these other people. But yeah, it's really amazing to see them get together. I'm sure, even though we don't see as much chatter in the Facebook page, that folks after they have connected just message each other directly, because I know people have messaged me directly afterwards to say, hey, we talked about this, can you help me with that? So the group is private and our messages are private amongst ourselves, but I do think a lot of communication happens one-on-one from having connected at the mini, or knowing that they're in the group. If they need help, somebody will go over, give them something, help them out with something. So that's kind of what we hope that people got out of the mini.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
for sure. Out of most of the minis I go to, I did get the most messages after at your mini. So that was like kind of a cool thing too. I was like, oh,
Sorry.
no, it was
I don't
good.
know.
It was good. It was good. Especially I went straight to Dallas for like 2 days of doing nothing. So I had plenty of time to answer questions. So it worked.
Well, thanks for making the cross country trip. That was above and beyond, and we loved having you there, and enjoyed hearing about the new stuff coming down from Mattis Designs.
Yeah, Brad, they made me talk.
They let you talk, and
No, they made me talk.
I'm sure that's why they keep it at 20 minutes, because they're like,
yeah.
No, we
Jared
knew it
does
was
not
JR. We
like
gave him
to
a
get
little
up
more
in front
time.
of people often. He's just
I could
like,
do this
"Hey,
all day."
I'm in front of people. I have a store. Everything I sell, I use in my show.
Gosh, were you there, Brad? That was pretty close.
No, it's awesome. And anybody watching, go to all these events that you can. I personally I've went to, I don't know how many events, and I've probably been to like maybe 10 classes over 5-6 years of being in this hobby. Like, nothing personal. It's just I'm usually talking to other people or helping other people out or things like that. And met many people that I consider really good friends. Just that's why we go to these events. And you can, like, now there's meatballs potentially,
Yes.
which could be a tie-in with Spaceballs in 2027.
Bay wants to go for the meatballs.
Like, guys,
Hey, I'm happy to bribe them here that way. So you can. I think Wired Watts has a part of their website where they dedicate it to minis, and so you can go on there and you can actually like see who all. I think it's a calendar. I don't know if there's a map. A map would be cool, but and maybe it exists already. But and I know there's an organizer page on Facebook that is just for organizers, for people to kind of share ideas. So if you're interested in organizing your mini, there are some other tools out there. But yeah, if you're John Q. Public and wanting to know where your closest mini is, I'm not the only one that I know of off the top of my head was the Wired Watts one, but there may be another one.
I think that's like the go-to, like, for everybody. Like, oh, just go to their website. They probably get more hits on that page than like the supports group does.
Yeah, and we use that page to make sure we deconflicted with other minis. So we knew the Christmas Expo was coming. We're like, we can't do it that weekend. This other group like is doing it the weekend before, so we try to slot it in so we're not on top of another mini.
So do you guys have a date for meatballs?
All kinds of space balls, meatballs, all the balls.
Well, what I'm saying, do we have a date for meatballs? Are we ready to drop the bombshell of when the 2027 date is, or are you still taking bribes from Maryland?
a venue is almost always our first stop. You know, like we said, it's our menu is free, so we're looking to click off a lot of those boxes. So the Vine Church is always an amazing venue, but it is our normal venue in Northern Virginia. So yeah, if we can find a venue in Maryland, we'll set a date tomorrow. Happy to do that.
Well, why don't you tell us what dates work for you in July, and we'll make sure it's one of those dates.
Well, we know it's not June 6th. Don't book a mini on June 6th. Because that seems to be what everybody's doing.
That's a little close to home for us. We're in the DC area, so you know.
Yeah, there's already 2 on June 6th, so
you know, I think somebody like from the ownership of the Ravens should reach out about using their stadium possibly, or possibly the Commander Stadium and do it, you know, over there, because
we'll pull some strings.
The meatballs will sell.
And we're going to need that kind of space when the meatballs come out.
Yeah, apparently.
If you cook it, they will come.
Brad will come, apparently.
Apparently, my wife she's like, we're on the way. If you guys are where you're at, and I can, you know, see my oldest, you know.
Yeah, they're right. To go see your daughter, you literally have to pass where it was from the airport. So yeah. They're close.
Yeah, and take the subways or whatever they call it up, the metros.
Yep, yeah. The venue is metro accessible. So if you're visiting your daughter, you can metro over, and it's like maybe a 3/4 mile walk from the metro up to the church.
State of Maryland, you're on the clock.
Maryland's got the metro too. We can have metro accessible locations up there.
But we need to rebrand you guys to Mid-Atlantic Mini, now featuring meatballs. Or Meatballs Return, or Meatballs 2. Yeah. The return.
It'd be now featuring meatballs, especially if Brad shows up.
When will the first Coro prop featuring meatballs come out, or Spaceballs? And then when is the first sequencer gonna have a song from Spaceballs for people?
There you go, Brad. Talk to all your friends.
Sequencers, do a Spaceball song, and also donate to X-Lights. Stop being cheap.
Yeah.
Per JR, of course.
So we're already at an hour, Brad.
I know. This is why you don't let me be encouraged.
I know.
But seriously, guys, thank you guys so very much. Not just for the mini, but everything you guys do for the community. And are you guys taking any, like, asking for help, or just you guys?
We're always looking for ideas. Like I said, it's, you know, we're a group that's member driven. So you know, the day that we're not member driven is the day that I step aside, which probably already happened if it's not member driven. So I get, you know, I make sure that's always number one for us. So always looking for people. You know, we'd love to have you. Your experience will add to the collective amazingness that is the lighting community. So,
well, that's awesome. Well, guys, once again, thank you for coming out. What I'm going to do is act like I'm still talking while I try to get over to the outro video. I will probably more than likely
He's gonna screw this up.
The 3-minute outro video.
Yeah. Thanks.
Oh, we got one of those.
Thanks for having me. You guys did an amazing job at the event and everything, and thanks for being on the show. Really appreciate it.
Yes,
so
we really do appreciate it. Once again, happy birthday, Faye.
Thank you.
And
happy birthday.
You know, so
yeah, find us online. Find us on Mid-Atlantic Animated Lighting Group, MAALG. Join our group. We have members from all over, even though we are a private group. But come find us. Come find our mini next year. We'd love to have you. Introduce you to all the cool people that we have that make our mini so special. So thanks for the evening, and look forward to talking to you again next year when we are from Maryland, and maybe we'll do a live stream with Brad and on.
I'm not
meatballs.
Look, I don't need to.
You don't have time for that to do live with Brad. No. Did you find the outro, Brad?
I think so, but we don't know. So, guys, have a great week. We're going to be back next week talking about something different, and JR hasn't told me yet. So it'll be a surprise for all of us.
Hey, Brad, you don't play the outro. You just hit end. It will automatically play it.
Things you learn.
Yeah.
So,
So,
goodbye.
see you guys later.
Bye.